This is the first book, Sketchbook, first proper one which I just did life drawings or experiments in. I really like this. It's a Leda art supply, that's the label on it. I did actually I've glued the official packaging into one of my journals somewhere so I can look at that and put that in the description. Love the cover, nice texture, and I like the paint on it as well, can withstand a lot. And I started it because I wanted to get back into landscape painting, landscape drawing. So there's some notes on how to draw landscapes properly there. This is a field near the fenland, where the fenland has always really inspired me, and I love the hay bales and pylons. Pencil sketch turned out way worse than I wanted it to, and there was a lot of resistance when I first started working in this book. This is inspired by an artist, Ted Coney. I was at an open studio of his, and he was doing some stuff on the marina, which was very near his studio, and the sort of cranes for the boats, because he does family portraits, but like unconventional. He uses objects to represent people's lives, and this was clearly an object that represented someone's life. So yeah, drew that. That was in charcoal and paint. Very negative space. It's a bad still life. This is a much better one. This is on the drive into town. This sort of bled. This is on white paper, sorry, white paint, pencil, and pen. This is a really nice landscape, done from a photo I took ages ago. This is a humpback bridge near where I live. No matter how much black I put into that, it would never go dark. But I love the colours in this, and the bleeding and the edges. It's really nice, really nice. A sheep done in my first oil sticks. Some cool tree shapes. Study of a green pepper, bell pepper. This is like light drawing paper in between. And I had a lot of fun with this page, drawing sheep in various different positions and mediums, chalk pencils, oil pastels. I think that actually used a sort of mix between an oil pastel and a soft pastel, but which I still use today. I love that one. It's the same stick. Willow charcoal, not very, yeah. Red chalk, that was fun to work with, and ink pen. This one was the same white silver oil stick, but it was a resist drawing with watercolour, or actually it might have been, yeah, it was ink actually. And I did a lot of fun with timed drawings, and this is quite hard to show because, I mean, I don't know why I bothered, because I put this piece of paper in the middle to stop the chalk from bleeding, but obviously the chalk's just smudged onto there and smudged back onto there, so I should probably just take those off. But you can see if I do that. That was 30 seconds, that was 60 seconds, all the same cow, same picture. This is very surreal, isn't it? That's inspired me to do a piece. 1 minute 30 seconds. And I got quite good very quickly. Or I think it was quite good. 2 minutes. Just using newspaper instead of my drawing paper now because I wanted to save that. 2 minute 30. Starting to introduce more different colours, different pastels. 3 minutes didn't look that different because I think I got bored. Blackberry picking, etc. It's a tree near me, which I really like. And that's in the same tree actually, but in a different style. The previous one is in a David Hockney style. I really like that one. I did these very early in the morning. Try to get some drawing in before the day starts. Same tree. Red pen, like marker pen for whiteboards. Chalk of some kind. I love this cow. Antique shop near me had these really cute cows, so I put them in. The art dog. This was a landscape trying to highlight the sky. And the pylons. And here is where the sketchbook has started to become the basis for bigger pieces. And I'm going to insert an image now, or slightly later, of what this piece inspired. This piece is actually quite interesting. It may look like it's a weird perspective where both roads are coming together, but it's actually two separate photos. Not that far apart from each other, but they're two separate places. And I combined them to make an imagined landscape of a place near me. These are puddles, which sort of, I liked how they sort of connected, like webs, almost Eric M. Scott style for his maps series. Oil paint stick, the field. I love this field so much. They cut down that tree very recently. They cut down that tree. I'm really cross about that. But yeah, it's nice to know that it's preserved in many sketchbooks, many photos, and many memories. This is the same landscape but from memory. This is the dead log, the bush, and the field, etc. Using what colours I have to sort of do stuff. And you'll see this field, this tree, pop up a lot in my sketchbooks. I'm doing it loads. I'm doing it in the one I'm working in at the moment, and I started this over a year ago. And I've used this field in my visual journals, and I went out to paint it because I loved it so much. So you'll be seeing this field a lot. I just love it, you know. There's so many memories there. There's blackberries in the bushes, there's dead trees, there's a really tall tree, which was the first thing that my grandparents saw when they moved in, which was quite near. They looked over, saw behind this tree line, this big tree. The tree's over here somewhere. So it's been there forever, until now. I've got a bit of bark which they've cut off to commemorate it. This is a piece of writing, which is sort of highlighting the humorous juxtaposition, or I thought it was, wondering about life. Well, actually it says, it's funny how I can go from being, or from wondering about life, the universe and everything, to sitting in a room drawing landscapes with oil sticks. You know? I was listening to Bo Burnham, thinking about existentialism, and then I'm drawing landscapes, you know? Crazy. That's the same landscape. Not of that, but you saw it earlier with this one. This is a landscape I saw on the car, and I did it from memory. Had this really weird tractor trail in it. And this is study of Van Gogh, however you want to say it. Two separate landscapes. I think I must have tried to connect them. And I will insert a scan from the book, The Healing Power of Nature, which is where it's from, in here. I love his use of line work and texture and mark making. You know, that's something that's always really fascinated me. It's another one of his. This is a study of David Hockney. I love these shadows. These are all done with Lamy pen. And there's still pages I can go back in and work in whenever I don't have a sketchbook, which hopefully is never. And this is the same one, same David Hockney, but with paint this time. Some drawings of relatives, my papa, my granny. These are more sheep. These are drawn from life. I saw them, stood in front of a field, and they all came and gathered in front of me. Yeah. It's a big long story. Lorraine the Pain. They all the grass in hers, so now they're in our one. These are the sheep again. Really enjoyed painting them. That's a really good sketch, I think. Using all sorts of pens. I particularly like this bush here. And also, these are just, I've really got the hang of the shape of the sheep, I think. More trees. This is a sketch in the style of David Hockney. I will insert a picture, which I think it was probably inspired by, here. And yeah, this is some trees from the same field, same outing. I'm talking about the same field. It's not the field which I rambled about. It's this field, which is a different field. I love it. I kept adding to it. Sort of put this mist around it. Really nice. Oh yeah, saw a fully adult horse playing and pushing a pink football around with its nose. So, you know, sketchbooks and journals, visual journals, artwork can be a storage place for memories and funny things that you see that just make your day that bit better. And, you know, if not anything, art can be fun, and that's all that matters. Start of a piece that never happened. Dark Van Gogh style piece. Blah blah blah. Sheep. Interesting mark making with crunched up chalk and stuff. It's the same sketch from earlier. Another one. Offloading my brush from something or other. Trying to draw into it. Maybe being abstract. Love this mark here. These are all trees I saw on the way back from places. More abstract. You'll see towards the end I move into the more abstract and experimental as I sort of get bored of doing fully realistic depictions of landscapes. Most of this sketchbook is landscapes, but I was interested in other things, clearly, because of that existentialism talk, but I think I filled it up quickly because I had a lot of passion for it, so most of it is landscapes. Actually, I should talk about this one. I will insert a screenshot of, or a scan of my visual journal page about this. This was on the way to Bath, I saw it, and there was this like completely normal suburban housing area, and then above it was this massive dystopic, like, huge warehouse, and it was alien. It was crazy massive. It was even bigger in comparison to these. It was insane, absolutely insane. This was just offloading my brush. I'm not going to pretend that it was an abstract artwork of any kind. Study of Hockney again, oil paint stick, probably an outline of a horse there. Fucking apples, God's country, reference to Gus Johnson there. So cool trees. And that's my uncle sleeping. Brush pen drawings of some sheep, trying to do something which Stuart Green told me, where you draw from reality and then you abstract it. Or maybe I was just bored. Here is where I started to move away from, like, just rural sketches. This was based off a Pinterest thing. You know what that is. This is a friend's pool, an outdoor pool that he has. It's very cold. but I was interested in Hockney, as you can see previously, and there was a lot of experimentation with trying to get this, you know, this sort of really serene lines in the pool, the float, the water coming off the edges, the weird perspective, the pool noodles. Sketches of sheep didn't go well, but then I just started using this for a palette, and I drew these. The sheep are back in the field. Yeah, this is the field here with the sheep in it. Lorraine's field is here, and that is the tree that I keep going on about. It's actually behind this tree line of bushes here, and it's in line with this fence basically. Or maybe actually it's in line with the fence that's over here. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. It's a nice standalone page. Testing the pressure and weight of a pen line. Faded pencil effect from drawing and pressing from the other side. There. That was really nice. This was inspired by an artist called Lost Control Collective, Brian Henry, I think. He's got a Tumblr, but a more active Instagram account. Really cool, liminal, serene, dreamlike, nostalgic, vintage, retro, horror, fantasy, fairy tale, beautiful pen mark making, pencil drawings. I mean, they're just amazing. I love them so much. Cactuses, vintage cars, geometric vaporwave mountains. What can you not love? This is one of his. I'm still going back to this artwork because, as I have said in many, many previous videos, and I'll probably say this again, I connect ideas and images and stories and artworks in my head. Cabin in the Woods, which I don't know if that was a caption of his, but I thought about it because there were all these Herobrine-esque birch trees which had been chopped off the tops. Cabin in the Woods, really geometric, but not realistic, very surreal. The lines didn't match up to reality, you can see. You know, this side's bigger than the other. Shadows, eerie. And it made me think of, like, you know, Hansel and Gretel, the cannibal witch in the woods, or Shia LaBeouf, that song, you know. Really cool. This is I can't remember his name, but he's an Instagram street urban sketcher. I'll try and remember his name and put it here if I can be bothered. No idea what that is. I like it though. That's a cool shape. I got into Instagram. I finally got Instagram, so I was looking at all these things, and that's why I'm drawing Brian Henry, and that guy. This is another Hockney. Just saw a sparrow land on a soggy sheep's head, and then the sheep shook it off. Very funny. The sheep is giving it the evil eyes. Evil eyes. You can see that as I drew this, the pen started to run out. As I say, you can evoke memories, etc. This is my popper with fictitious party hat, apparently. Oh, maybe, yeah, fictitious. Maybe I added that because I thought it would be good to the piece. In a few fields along, they started building this weird hut, so I drew it. 28th of the 10th, 2023. Melcher Oosterman, I got back into him when I figured out he was on Instagram. Yeah. And I was reading White Noise at this point in time, and this reminded me of Mr. Grey and Dylar, the drug in the book, so I sketched that. I'd also watched White Noise, I can't remember which. Yeah, it was probably the book. Oh yes, he is floating, I didn't mess up the drawing. Yep. More abstract. See, this is why this was artist JJ Ellis Art, I think. Really cool. I actually DM'd him and he told me about his practice and sketches and stuff like that. Does he plan his artworks? So I was not studying, but being inspired by some of his compositions and then making them my own, having fun with rough textures like this, seeing how the pen... Do you notice how with Lamy, if you're doing it on charcoal or like dried acrylic paint, especially like thin acrylic paint that's just stained the surface, it like has a completely different texture. I love it. So yeah, this big juxtaposed, you know, massive, rough obsidian block up here with furry edges juxtaposed to this tiny red square with clean edges. This is a beautiful one. I tried to recreate this, but it didn't work. It's just... The best work I've created comes from when I don't have a plan, I'm just really inspired, and I need to do something, because I think I'm thinking more about how can I make it look like this person. And it works. This was inspired by them, but also Oppenheimer, I think. It reminds me of Oppenheimer. Really like these abstract works. This one was not so good. That one was not so good. I do like some of the textures and stuff. I like this one very much. Not sure about this though. Could have done without the masking tape. And yeah, I love how I mentioned it back here with the Brian Henry faded pencil pushed through from the other side makes a mark. It also works with oil pastel, probably better. More started, didn't work. And then, as you can see, it happened again from the other side. And this is where Christmas has started. Went over, my dad was digging into the twiglets already. It's only the 19th of the 12th. Love this. Can't remember where the ink was from. And then I started turning it into a visual journal. I love the space here, the liminal quality of it. It's not floating, it's like the outside of Coraline's Other Mother's World. This was in the style of Brian Henry Lost Control Collective again. Yeah, I love the mark making, which he does, really do. This was a study of his piece. I might have made this bit up, or some of the elements up. Oh, and this is an amazing piece. This is really good. Started a bit here, as you can see, but I didn't rub it out because I thought it added to the character. The Jasmine, I call it. It was from a reference photo, and I think 2 reference photos combined. But like 1920s, roaring 20s jazz musicians. I mean, I love it. Probably inspired. I think it was inspired by Sean Henry. Sorry, Brian Henry. Sean Henry's been exhibiting in a cathedral near me, so that's why I'm saying Sean Henry. But it was inspired. Yeah, his faces. Really cool. I actually want to do at least one entire visual journal page on thin paper, like he does. I want to start, actually. I want to eventually merge my sketchbooks, my writing, and my visual journals all into one book. But I can't really do that with my 600-page book at the moment because it's too big. Yeah, and I don't like working in multiple visual journals at once because I like to have some narrative to what I'm putting in them to make it easier for me, but also, you know, I just like cohesion. Someone in a cafe in front of me. Some quick sketches of skylines. Toad Alive Cream. Straw. This is a house which is on the same path as this field. I drew it twice and that song was playing in the car, so I did that. This is one of my neighbours. Really love this spread. Unironically, spread. No pun intended. Not unironically. Yeah, man stands outside in a Adidas hoodie or something. No, Christmas hoodie. Stretching. And smoking a cigarette. Really funny. So I had to sketch him. Many times I'm working on something in my little studio kitchen room, and I will walk past to get some new water, and I'll look out my window and I'll see something really cool. I'm like, I have to sketch that. So I'll just grab a book and stop everything I'm doing. Set painting for a production of the Christmas Carol I was involved in. I was tasked with painting the wooden panels of Scrooge's house black, then roughing them up with blocks of wood wrapped in sandpaper, and then throwing mud, well actually paint, but mud, at the bottom of the, you know, the stairs to make it look like it was all muddy. That's the same, yeah, I was doing these bits. And then I was in an orchestra recording for the Christmas Carol production, and it was hectic because I was also doing a carol competition for one of my friends, where I was playing the other trumpet part. So I had to do both in the same space of an hour. And then I was very interested in, these were some leftovers from artworks I'd made in the summer. Space race type thing, just assemblaging stuff together. Assemblaging should be a word. I really want to show this page off, but it's got too much personal information on it. This is a typical visual journal experimentation page. This is a letter. This is the same carol competition I was talking about, the sort of running order. It did not end at 6:50, I'll tell you that now. And yeah, just having fun, because, as I say, my interests changed. As you can see throughout this book, they definitely changed. But I still like all these things. I just ebb and flow and allow myself to be creative. It was Christmas time, so there was a lot of carol stuff going on. My backing, which I tried so carefully to make this video nice with, is just falling off. National Geographic image. I can't remember if this was just a composition melody idea for myself, or whether it was no, I think this was for myself looking at it, not the carol competition I was in, which I didn't enter, but I had to do bits of. That's probably what it is. Alternate movement. Typical drum beat there. Bum ta bum ta. And then this is the trombone part. Bum 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 ba dum. Da 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 da. Sing sing sing. That's what it is. I was inspired by Sing Sing Sing. Xmas tree is taken down. No, that can't be right. No, must mean it's up. Oh, sorry, it means down from the loft. Right. Because, yeah, so this is the tree down from the loft. I'm just thinking because in the next sketchbook tour, bit of promotion there, the first sketch is actually the tree. Up. Not the first sketch. One of the first sketches is the tree up. So I'm like, well, hold on, that can't be right. Yeah, can't find it now, of course. Tree. I love these sort of pages. They just tell me so much about my life. They're so fun, colourful, loose. And I know exactly what's going on. I mean, I actually want to do a separate video now talking about the importance of a sketchbook and how I use them in my art practice. My opinions, not the sort of generic stuff of they improve your skill, as they do, but you know, other stuff. They're starting to stick, said my dad, as he wedged potatoes out of the roast, which is what I'm having tonight. Typical British thing. Sitting in a cathedral at the end of the world. Got that idea, so I looked up on Google Images because I didn't have time to go to the actual cathedral. This isn't my cathedral. Yeah. And some just checking pens worked. Probably because I was trying to go through stuff, but I got bored after a few. And one of my people saw me sketching, so he asked me, "Can I have your pen and I'll draw you?" That's a face reveal for you, isn't it? I suspect I was drawing the red tree. This one, because of the red marker. So there. I haven't done a visual journal or sketchbook tour in a long, long time, so I want to go ahead and start releasing those, and digitise them, so that if they all burn in a fire like Peter Beard's did, then there's some record of them. I didn't go into this video with any plan. I just talked as I looked at them, because when I'm looking through books, like which I've made, I will remember stuff, and I want a genuine sort of reaction to them. I want a genuine narrative of what I'm thinking while I'm reviewing these books, not reviewing them, while I'm looking at them, because I'm not trying to make any judgments about them. But yeah, look out for more videos in general, because I want to do more. But I've got that one to go, I've got that one to go, and I've got that one to go. They're all sketchbooks, and I've got about 15 more visual journals since the last one I uploaded about 2 years ago. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that little insight into my sketching practice. It took me a long time to actually make or keep a sketchbook purely for sketching, and now it's my intention to try and merge the two things together. And while I was working in this book, I was working on other things as well. I'll try and, there's the book which I want to do, the Brian Henry in. Like I said earlier, I want to do a big page in one of my visual journals like he does. I actually have already started working in slightly to get out of the big book a few times, and I did this field. I actually think I had that book with me in the car when I was driving past this field. Can't find it now. There. And it's sort of a close-up of this bit with the nice winter light and all that. A lot of what I was doing in this book was inspired by David Hockney's video series. I can't remember what it's called, but it is really good. It's like videos, home videos of him painting, him in the studio, him talking about his life, his inspiration, you know. And I commented on it, and actually I think it's director or producer, don't know how they got the notification, because it wasn't their channel, as far as I'm, yeah, because he replied with a different name, different account, and he asked me, how did you find this, what do you think? And I said, oh, I haven't answered him. I'll try and put a screenshot up here if it's not got too much information in it. And I asked him, were you involved in it? But he never got back to me, as far as I'm aware. So there goes my connection to David Hockney. I have to admit, some of the videos, I want to binge watch them, like a Netflix series this holiday, but some of the videos were a bit posh boy type thing. I mean, there was one which was about a minute long, and it's called "I get to do whatever I want to do every day of my life." And the first line is, "I have gotten to do what I want to do every single day of my life." I'm like, okay, no need to rub it in. Shut up, no one cares. So yeah, anyway, I'm rambling. So, look out for more sketchbook tours. I want to be uploading more of them, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.